Hello, and welcome to my channel. This is Elise here of Plan with Elise, and today is one of my most favorite videos of the year because today I'm going to be sharing the planners that I'm using in 2026. There's a lot going on here. I've got a ton of things on my desk, and I'm going to go through each of them and explain how I'm using it, why I'm using it. And then we are going to have setup videos for most of these that are going to come throughout December. So I'm not doing any setting up today. We're just kind of going through everything that I've put together as part of my 2026 lineup. I thought I would kind of categorize this video into different types of products. So the first thing we're going to start with is journals. And what I'm going to do first is show you the journals that I currently have in progress that I'm not planning to change in 2026 unless I run out or something like that. So these are ones that are already part of my lineup but are going to remain in my lineup. So this first one is an Archer, and let me move everything over. This is Archer and Olive, and this was from a box. I don't remember what it was. And I was actually inspired by Elizabeth, the Joyful Sojourn, who I didn't even write my name in this, who was making like a creative listing type of journal. And I started this over the summer. I wrote 10 things about me, how I want others to see me. And then I started to do what I love about summer. That's how I know I use this in summer. But I haven't done anything else with it. This was just testing. So I really want to continue using this just as like a creative listing type of space. One disclaimer I should have made as I started this is there's going to be a ton of product you're going to see today. My intention is not to use every single planner every single day. As you can see, we are in November. Well, when I'm filming this, it's actually Thanksgiving. And I haven't touched this in several months. So it doesn't necessarily mean that these are the planners I'm going to be using every day. No one has time for that. But they are planners that are going to be accessible for me to use. Most of the planners are going to be used every day, more about the journals, but I didn't want to do a separate video just of journals. So that is number one. The next thing is actually a newer Archer and Olive product. This was the 128 page journal. I got this as part of my workshop swag at Chicago Planner Conference. And what I've been doing here is just some creative pages that I've been making. Lately, I'm feeling stressed after work and I feel the need to create and kind of off camera. So I made these two pages sitting on my couch, and I also bought a little stamp that I could use to date when I made each page. So this is just going to kind of be my like sitting in front of the like the TV on the couch, relaxing, being creative type of item. And I didn't want to wait until January to start because there was really no need to. The next one is my junk journal. I love my junk journal. I love this cover that I made, but I have to say we are 40 pages in and we are getting full. I'm not entirely sure how long this is going to last. So I started this in October, I think, and just to kind of show you what it's looking like so far. I really love this. Pages that I haven't necessarily finished. Election page from Chicago. So I'm going to continue to use this. And then I started to do some creative pages. This was where I had the idea that I wanted a separate planner just for creativity, or a separate journal, because I did start to do some things like this. I'm not sure how long this will last because of what I can see is happening already. I do know some tips that I've used where you can start to like glue pages together. What I may do is start from the back and feel like that may give it some balance, but we'll see. So this I will use until I cannot use it anymore. Once the time comes that I cannot use it, oh, and that is, I'm going to butcher the name. I'm going to say Lecterm. I don't think that's how you pronounce it. That's that kind of journal. This is what I'm going to use once that breaks. I think my only concern is, again, with a thick notebook, maybe not having that ability, but I do need to use it because it has my name embossed. I actually got this at the Empire State Pen Show in New York City and got my name embossed, debossed. I don't really know. but we're going to use this next year. And guess what? I got a second one with my new last name as of August, what that will be. So that will be next up, junk journal. The next one is also a lectern, but it's a smaller one. This one is, how many pages? 80 pages. And this one I'm actually going to be using with friends as a traveling junk journal. So we'll each use it for a month and send it to someone else, and then just kind of continuing that. So this is another one. I know that there's a lot here, but I'm really excited about my lineup. I've put a lot of time and thought into it this year. Okay, now I want to talk about memory keeping. So let me show you. I have been doing memory keeping all year. We have only a few pages left to fill this out, and this is an Archer and Olive 8x8, and I love it. It's been the perfect size for memory keeping for me this year. So I did buy another to be able to use, and it's this one. I keep saying that 2026 is my something blue year because I'll be getting married. And I know there's birds on this, not that common for me, but I really felt that this was such a beautiful cover. And I really liked the idea of having kind of my something blue. So just to compare these two, let me grab this again. And again, this is 8 inches by 8 inches, but look at the difference in width once this is almost filled out, and then this one. And it's so exciting just to see what memories will be created. So that is my memory keeper. Then we have one more 8x8, and let me put this back in. So this one, I actually won't be able to start until after I get married. My wedding is August 28th because look, I put my new last name and I put the family. What I thought I would use this for, this is really beautiful. It has such a nice texture to it, almost like a suede. I thought that I would get a new one of these for each year that we're married. So from August 28th, 2026 to August 27th, 2027, this will keep our memories. And where this will be different from my regular memory keeper, my regular memory keeper is more of like events and outings and, you know, trips and all of that kind of stuff. This will be more, it'll be some of that because James is part of some of that for me, but it will also be the day-to-day and things like that. I may even include pages of like shows that we're watching and, you know, just kind of what the year has looked like for us. I may do a monthly recap, stuff like that. So this is going to be used, but not until basically September of 2026, but I wanted to show it because it is part of what I'm using in 2026. I love the Archer and Olive engraving, embossing, debossing, I don't know the word, but that feature. And it's, I think, only $10 more. So I'll also share like where you can buy things in the description. So with Archer and Olive, you can use code Elise10 for a discount on your order. So I believe those are all of our journals, like book-bound journals. Now, on the topic of journals, for the last 2 years, I've used a dot grid bullet journal for my daily journaling. And over the last month or so, I found a couple of things with my journal. Number one, I found that I didn't always have time to write in it every single day. Even though I was working in my rule of thirds, where 1/3 is decorated and 2/3 I write in, I didn't always have time, even though it was only a few minutes, to write in it. And so what I was doing was I was back journaling a lot just to fill the space. Whoops. Definitely just woke up, James. That's why you don't pile things on your desk. Okay, so I was filling up the space. I also found that a lot of the times I was writing the same thing. I noticed for like a week straight I was writing, work was really rough today. And I started to experiment with using a vertical for journaling. And the reason I liked using a vertical for journaling was because I didn't necessarily need to write a ton every day because there's not that much space for it, but it was almost more of like an overview of the week for journaling. So I decided to use Kelva Plan's vertical seasonal planner. Some of these are dividers from when I did the flip through. And one of the reasons that I really wanted to use Kelva Plans for this is because of the really good paper quality. I like to use like colored pens and markers when I'm journaling, and this was the perfect planner to do it. So I may not really fill out these important dates. I could do something with these. I'm not all completely sure about every single way I'm using each part of every planner, but I am really excited about the idea of this. So my other thought was that in the monthlies, so on this front page before the monthly, I could do something like my hopes for the month. So in my regular journal, I have like an opening page for each month. I could do that here as well. And then in the monthly spread, I can do my one line per day, which is, well, actually, I think I'm going to do my daily win here because I really like my daily win. So that's going to go here. There's another plan for the one line per day. So that's what's going to go in these spots. And then we just have the vertical, and I can use a lot of fun decor if I want, or I can just write. I wish I had my vertical like demo one to show you because I feel like it would make more sense, but we're going to use this as a journal basically. So that's that. And then it just kind of continues. So I'm really excited to experiment with something new. I kind of want to start it right away for December, to be honest with you. So that is the Kelva Plan vertical planner. Now, with one line per day, last year I bought this not Live Love Posh, Lights Planner Action 5-year journal. And this comes in 2 versions. You could have the version that has prompts where you answer the same question every day for a year, or you could do the non-prompted version. I have the non-prompted version, and I've used this every single day, and it's literally just like a couple of lines here. That's why I said I didn't really want to use my 1 line per day in that because I'm replicating it here. So those will be my daily wins. This will be my 1 line. So I filled this out for almost all of 2025. You can see here I chose the date we got engaged, and next year I'll just write 2026, and it'll be fun to see how, things change year to year for each date. So one thing I do want to say is Lights Planner Action has been very vocal that her business is going to be changing. At some point in 2026, probably early 2026, she will no longer be making printed products because her printer lease is ending. And then a little bit later in 2026, she will be shutting down her storefront. So if you like anything from Lights Planner Action, especially this, because I love this, one of my friends also bought this in Chicago, is to purchase it now because Lights Planner Action is not going to exist in the same way next year as it has for the last, I think, 10 years. So this is my little like 1 line per day. It's so easy. It sits next to my laptop and I just fill it out. It takes up like no room, and that's one of the things that I really love about it. So that's where we are for like journaling. The next category is my business planner, my Plan with Elise planner. And this I've decided to use the Citrine planner. These planners are available at, is it Office Depot or Office Max? I can't remember. I have a whole unboxing video of these. And I really like the Citrine planner for a lot of reasons. So I'm just going to move through to January. I think that this is going to be a really good planner for me for Plan with Elise because I love the goals and priorities to-do list and habit trackers, and then the notes page. And then we have this dashboard style layout. I will be adding in the Live Love Posh quad pages. We'll do a setup of this, but I've been using the Live Love Posh quad pages, and where this is going to be really helpful is that I can put the quad page here, And so when it's on this page, I'll have it for here and here, and then I'll be able to flip it over. Right now, with the way I do my quad pages, because I'm using them in the Catchall Plan dashboard, I'm only using one page for each week, and I feel like they're getting wasted. So we are going to switch to this. This is quarterly projects. That's kind of cool. The one big change that I think I am going to be making to this is incorporating the Live Love Posh minimal monthlies, because I don't need everything in here, like the books and all of that. But what I do want, let me pull this out so I can show you. We'll grab some of these. Okay, I think that should be enough. So the way that I use my monthly in my dashboard style layout right now is that I put in all my video schedule here. And I don't think that this is enough space for my video schedule. So my thought here is to, let's see how this will work. Again, we'll do a setup video, but we're gonna do something like this. This way I have the full monthly view. And then the quad will handle this, so I don't really need this part, but then we'll pop this in and probably like glue these two pages together. So I have a monthly inbox of all those categories. So then what's going to happen is I can use this if I want to, like if I want to use this just for release dates, then I'll have this part, then we'll open to our monthly, then this page, and then we'll have this. I'm also, so the reason I'm using discs versus twin loop, and also the reason I'm using this size versus the A5, I really love the A5. However, I will add an extra tab in this for other things that I put in. I'll need an inbox of list making, and I'll also need a section in the back. So whenever you see me do like demo spreads, like a new sticker book, and I'm sharing, you know, a spread with it, I usually have a tab back here that I put those all in. And then at the end of the month, they all get mailed out to my Patreon members. So I need a place to keep them. So that's going to go back here. So I'm really excited about using this. In terms of thickness, I think I'm going to have a problem because of this loop. We've got a bit more space, but we'll see as the year goes on. I'll take these out because I don't really need them. So I'll take out whatever sheets I don't need. But I think that this is going to be a really good system for me for my dashboard planner. The one thing I'm not sure of is the paper. The paper is good. I mean, it feels like Happy Planner paper, but in the past 2 years, I've used the Catchall Plan dashboard, and that has thicker paper. So I've kind of gotten used to the thicker paper. So it's just something I need to be mindful of. And if this ends up not working for me, I'll just switch to the dashboard. I do have one of those. It was just that I really wanted to incorporate this because I like the setup here and I was excited about using it. Next up, we have a big vertical. I am not leaving my big vertical. So you're going to find out in the next clip of this video that I am no longer going to be using a classic size vertical planner in any capacity besides the journaling. But my big is really what's going to serve as my catch-all. We are going to do big currently pages. We won't be doing big monthlies. I can say that almost for sure because we're going to do classic monthlies, but I'll get to that in a minute. And then I just love my big vertical. I don't really love this cover or these discs, to be honest with you, but there were very few options for big verticals. I actually went on Happy Planner's website this morning and there's only 2 in stock now. I think they're both Winnie the Pooh. This one is sold out. Maybe they're not both Winnie the Pooh. I don't remember, but it was very hard this year to find big verticals. I actually wasn't sent one in my package. I bought this. So I love my big vertical, and it's just a planner that I couldn't see myself walking away from. So that is what we are using in 2026. So it's now probably the 5th or 6th year that I've used a big vertical, and it's just like my tried and true planner. Before we get into my classic size, I think I need to change some of the verbiage that I used when I was talking about my big. I said it was going to be my catch-all. That's not actually correct. So a catch-all planner is a planner that has everything for your life in it. I didn't really mean catch-all with my big. That's what we're going to do with a classic size. So before I dive into the 3 different planners that I'm going to be putting together, I want to talk about why I'm making a change. So in 2025, I switched to a Moxie Life vertical, and I love using my Moxie Life vertical. I love the weekly layout, and I really love the goal system. The problem I found is that I tend to have my planner like flipped over on itself. So here's just an example. I tend to have it like this. So I have it like this for the week, the days that like are in front of me, and then I have it like this. I'm not doing a ton of flipping through. And while there's nothing wrong with that, the problem I was facing was that I wasn't looking at my monthly goals and I wasn't consistent about setting weekly actions. And while I loved using my Moxie Life vertical for the year, I felt like I need to have my goals be separate. So we'll get to that shortly. Now, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what I would do for my classic regular catch-all planner. And I think I have a good system here. So I have products from 3 different brands that we're going to put together in a video tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. But I built a custom happy planner. We're going to use a different cover here. I wish you could buy this layout on its own, but you can't. So, oh, I had medium metal discs. I didn't realize what I chose. So this is the monthly layout. And you can only right now buy this as a custom. I mean, there's like too many things on my desk. I need a bigger desk to do a video like this. So we have the month or the opening pages. January. I was going to say, this does not come with dividers. It does. It's just in the cover set. And then we have the monthly layout. I've really been enjoying creating a lot of these monthly layout pages for my Patreon members. And I wanted to bring it back into my lineup. I keep saying that I'm in my list making era, and this layout is really good for that. However, we're not going to be using all of these weekly pages. So these are the weeklies in the monthly layout. And yes, they're daily tasks, but I really need something a little bit more categorized. So I'll show you the next thing. And again, we'll combine these all in a separate video. So I do have the monthly layout as like my base. Then I have the Kell of a Plan Simple or Simplicity layout. And what I really like about this layout is that you have this month. I don't know if I'll necessarily use these, but I really like the week. I was a little afraid that switching to a different type of planner, I was going to miss a weekly setup. And this is really going to help me because what I can do here is mostly add in like our schedule and things that we have going on. James and I do have a whiteboard calendar in our kitchen. And I think it would be helpful to like replicate what is happening, but within these spaces. And I can also use this to incorporate some goals. So we're going to be using certain pages from this as part of my catch-all planner. The next thing and the most like robust part of all of this is a gigantic plum paper daily. So the plum paper daily you can customize. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was actually delaying filming this video because I really wanted to be able to have a discount code to share with you because of the Thanksgiving holiday, and I didn't do it soon enough. I'm waiting to hear back from Plum Paper, but if once I do get a discount code, I'll put it in the description. So we'll decide which of these pages that I really want to use. But ultimately, I wanted these dailies because even though I'm using a separate planner for Plan with Elise, Sometimes when I have too much going on, I'm really only looking at one planner, and this will be that planner, and this will be the daily. So I did customize this for today's priorities, plan with Elise, wedding, to do, and then I left these blank. Once the wedding is over and the thank you cards are written, I'll just use a header box or something for that. But I really needed to shift into a list-based planner. I have been using one of these. I bought the 6-month a while ago and I'm using it very regularly and I love it because it just helps get everything out of my brain and onto paper. My one hesitation before I bought the previous plum paper was the paper itself years ago. And I remember this in 2021. The paper from Plum Paper was like a little bit smoother, that pens were really smearing on it, almost like a sheen to it. It's not that anymore. It feels more like Caleva Plan, maybe Happy Planner paper, maybe a little thicker than Happy Planner, but not as thick as Caleva Plan. So it's not like Erin Condren paper that's more of a toothy, gritty paper, but it's not the smooth that it used to be, which is a good thing. So this is going to be my daily, but like I said, we're going to be using the Caleva Plan Simplicity because I kind of want that addition of a weekly overview. I think it'll all make more sense once we put it all together. So that was also one of the reasons that I couldn't really wait much longer because I wanted to start getting everything together. We have 2 more categories to talk about, and the first one, of course, is budgeting. I don't have my budget planner. So I'm going to be using the Caleva Plan budget planner. The problem is I can't find it anywhere. I have a horrible feeling that I got rid of it when I was decluttering a bunch of stuff, but I've already ordered a new one. So we will be doing a setup video, and I do have an unboxing video of it, but I ripped apart many rooms in my house and I can't find it anywhere. So I can't show you that right now, but what I can show you is what I'm going to be using to accompany my budget planner. And drum roll, please, we have my second book. This book releases on January 13. And this book, I'm going to be doing a full review next, not review because it's my book, but a more thorough flip through and detail about this book next week. But let me just show you the difference here between my first book, which was 8.5 by 11, and then this book. This book is smaller, but also it's really focused on tight budgets. In the first book, the savings dollar amounts are very high. And while that's helpful, I think we're all on a really tight budget right now. So we have tight budgets coming out. I'm so excited. And I've been working on it, not all year, but probably, I think I started this in January and finished it over the summer. So this has been a big chunk of my year. And I'm really excited for it to come out in January. So I'm going to be using this to accompany my budget planner and really focus on savings goals. I'm really committed to using a budget planner again in 2026. I took a bit of a break from it in 2025. I found it hard to navigate a personal budget while James and I are like living together and figuring out how I budget when like not everything that we're doing is like split or stuff like that. So now that we've lived together for 9 months, I think that I'm in a better space to dive back into a budget planner and be really intentional with my finances. So the final thing here to talk about is goals. Like I mentioned, I love setting goals, but having my goals in my Moxie Life Planner wasn't very productive for me this year. So I'm actually going back to what I used in 2024, and these are the Moxie Life Goal Setting Quarterly Companion Notebooks. These come in a pack of 4. I believe they're 30% off right now for Cyber Monday. And these companion notebooks, you use 1 per quarter. You'll have the month, which I don't tend to really use. Then we have space for the monthly goals, reflections, weekly actions, and then the next weekly actions, and that's it. And I think that these are going to work out really well for me because number one, I've used them before, so I know that they work. but also because I really just need a separate space. I was mentioning with the little Lights Planner Action 1 line a day journal that I really liked that it just kind of sat next to my desk, and this can or my computer, and this can kind of do the same thing. It's small and I can be really intentional about using it separate from my regular planner. What did you not see in this? You did not see a reading journal. I'm going to be honest with you. I've barely read this year. I think I'm at 35 books. This was the reading journal that I set up for 2025, and I was really good about using it. And then I kind of stopped reading. I read in June a lot, actually. I don't even know why. And then I stopped. So one good thing is that when I set this up, I didn't go far ahead because I wasn't sure how much reading I'd be doing. So if I wanted to, I could continue. I think that when we do my catch-all setup, we're going to have a section for trackers, and reading is going to be in there. I love reading, but right now in the phase of life that I'm in, I just haven't been making the time for it. So I don't think we're going to see a reading journal being used in 2026, especially with the wedding planning and all of that going on. The other thing that I did not share here is a wedding planner. So I did a very thorough unboxing of, I think, 10 different wedding planners. Plus I have one more that I purchased. Actually, I have it right here, that my friend Carly recommended to me, which I really like. This was on like TikTok Shop. The problem I'm having with every wedding planner is that most of the planner is searching for vendors. And in the vendor search, there's a ton of potentials. And the only vendor left we have to choose is our band, like entertainment, and also florist. I don't even know if, oh yeah, we have florist and band. But with a lot of these, there's so many different pages for options, like venue, that was 4 different options, photographer. We've already done all of that, and we kind of just did it on a spreadsheet. We didn't really need a separate planner to do it. What I'm more looking for at this point is a detail planner. So something that once we have all of our vendors booked, then it's like our guest list is probably going to be on a spreadsheet. Timelines and stuff like that, I found some printables on Etsy. I think at this point, I'm really just going to be putting together my own planner or notebook that's going to have everything detailed in there. But really, having a spreadsheet has been helpful. We made a Google Sheet, and on the bottom, there's different tabs. We had our engagement party guest list. We had our engagement party gift list and tracked thank you cards. We had all the different vendor options for like venue, photographer. We're also at an almost all-inclusive venue. So we're getting married at a country club. So the bar is included, the food is included, the lighting is included. My cousin is officiating our wedding. So there's really not many other things that we need to do, but the spreadsheet we're making is going to keep everything really helpful and also track the budget. Yes, I'm a paper planner, but the spreadsheet is kind of our everything right now. And so I don't really see myself needing a paper planner just for the wedding planning, but I do have the lists in my Plum Paper Daily because of different things each day that I need to do. So I think that's where we're at when it comes to wedding planning and that planner. So I hope that this wasn't too overwhelming. I really wanted to show each category separately and give you a thorough explanation of what I'm using, why I'm using it, why other things maybe didn't work out for me as much in 2025, but I am itching to get into my 2026 planners. I'm so excited. So I'll share everything in the description of the video. I wanted this video to go up for Cyber Monday so that if there's anything you wanted to purchase, you could still take advantage of those sales. And let me know if you have any questions. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.